It's officially the week of the draft. Time to get into my official first round NFL mock draft. Let's go. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here with Ballard Sports Media. You are looking right here. I got it in Word document. Gonna go ahead and get into the first round of my 2021 NFL mock draft. I think I'm just gonna do what anybody else does and just share the first round of the mock draft. If I can though, this weekend it is draft week. If I can, I'll try to go live each day for the draft. For each of the rounds if I can. Definitely the first night, obviously. And let you guys know how it goes. But you're seeing here, which I guess I'm kind of spoiling it, at least for what's to come after the first round. Let me scroll up. I guess now I got to scroll down because you can't see the Buccaneers pick. I'm not one to mess with trades a whole lot, honestly. And I didn't. And I almost did. I've thought about a couple scenarios where like the Patriots trade up in the top 10. They could trade with a team like the Cowboys or the Lions or whoever. I don't know. But I'm just going to be real with you guys. And I know that if I want to be a sportscaster, someday I'm going to have to figure out trades and, listen in on them completely. And when I do my mock draft, at some point I got to make some trades on my own. But I don't know. It's such a gamble. You hear rumors about this team trading or that team trading. I don't know. But this is the order as it is at the moment. If trades do happen, it's probably not mentioned. But again, I wouldn't be surprised to see something like the Patriots at 15. You see there, I got them taking Mac Jones. Okay. I've heard rumors they trade up with a team like the Broncos or the Cowboys or whatever just to get a quarterback or something, or I don't know. Like trade into the top 10. Don't be surprised if that happens. Don't be surprised even if it doesn't. I don't know. Right. But anyways, guys, just looking at it here, let's go ahead and look at my first round mock draft. I have all the picks for the first round right here. And of course, continue on down all 7 rounds. If I do get a chance to go live for each of the rounds this weekend, I will update you guys and we'll react to all the picks and I'll let you know, okay, we're on this pick. This is who I have picking. This is who I have going there, blah, 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 what I have at the moment. But let's just focus in tonight on the first round of the draft. Come to no surprise to anybody that the Jaguars are on the clock here. I won't mess with this here, but anyway, on the clock at number 1, we know it's the Jaguars. Do we really need an explanation as to why I have Trevor Lawrence? Why they're going to take Trevor Lawrence? Why he's the number? It's Trevor Lawrence. He has the arm strength. He's got great mobility. He's got everything you could ask for in a quarterback. He's a day 1 franchise starter. That's no surprise. This is the most predictable pick in the entire draft. Number 1 pick overall has never been more predictable in the history of the NFL draft. That's facts. It's never been more predictable. Trevor Lawrence, number 1 overall to the Jaguars. If they pass up on him, then everything that we know about mock drafts and Mel Kiper, Tom McShay, and everything that we think we know about the NFL or anything, God forbid that they pass on Trevor Lawrence. Straight up. Let's call it what it is. So, Trevor Lawrence, number 1 overall. Okay, we get that. The Jets at number 2, taking Zach Wilson. Is he the second best quarterback in this draft class? Well, I'm just going to go ahead and sum this up. I know what I've said about Justin Fields. I've only joked a little bit. I like to joke around because of the whole Bama beating Ohio State thing. Of course, Fields and Trevor Lawrence, we know, were the top two quarterbacks in the class of 2018. We get that. Zach Wilson, nobody heard of Zach Wilson until this past year. I mean, we heard of him, but we didn't expect him to have the kind of season that he did. He had a heck of a year. BYU was a heck of a team. Had a chance at the playoffs, but group of five teams, I'm sorry, they're just never going to get in the playoffs. But that aside, Zach Wilson has good mobility, good in the pocket. He seems like he could be a good franchise quarterback. The Jets seem to be sold on Zach Wilson. Is he the second best quarterback in this class? I mean, if you want to debate it, okay. But let's just be real. It's Trevor Lawrence, it's Justin Fields, and then take your pick on what happens. But it's not, this is not going to be a draft of best available. It's best fit. Now, for the Jaguars, of course, best available, best available. But the best fit for the Jets would be Zach Wilson. I have been taking Wilson. I think it's a good fit. I think he's going to be the franchise quarterback. Getting rid of Sam Darnold, clearly the great option for the Jets. It just wasn't working. It's not for them, and Sam Darnold needs to go somewhere else. I think Carolina might be a good landing spot for him. We'll see. That being said, this is where it's supposed to get interesting, folks. Again, I know what I've said lately about Fields or Mac Jones. Yes, Mac Jones beat Justin Fields. Yes, he had that kind of season last year. Fine, I'll say it. He had the players around him. Is there anything wrong with being a system quarterback? Absolutely not. If you're a system quarterback, you're a system quarterback, and you need to go where you best fit in. I hate to say it about Mac Jones, but man, I'm just going to be a sportscaster here for a minute throughout this video and just be realistic. Yes, I'll admit he's a systematic quarterback. Systematic quarterback. Is Justin Fields a system quarterback? I don't know. We'll find out. Would he have worked out at Georgia? I don't know. We're not even going to get into that. But I do, what I'm hearing is that the 49ers, not 1,000% sold on Justin Fields, but that seems to be the direction that this draft is heading in um, as we get closer to Thursday night. It seems like it might be Justin Fields. I think it could be. We'll just have to wait and see. If it's Fields, it's Fields. Even if it's Mac Jones and they skip on Fields, some people will sit there and be like, "What are you doing? Fields is right there. You're skipping." Would it really be all that surprising either way the 49ers go on Thursday night? Not to me. Either way, either pick would be good for Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers and to get a quarterback for the future after Jimmy Garoppolo, who's pretty much up under contract. I mean, that's the whole deal with this. Uh, but I think they're going to stick with Fields here. It wasn't easy for me to move around Mac Jones, but just what I'm hearing, man, that's just the way that it is. And again, I'm not one to mess with trades. I'm just not at that level yet with all this. I don't. You never. You could think of teams that would want to trade, but it's always such a risk. So I mean, this is like almost like the default order of the draft. So, but anyway, number one, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson at two to the Jets, and the big pick of them all that we're all looking at and curious. I'm going to stick with Justin Fields to the 49ers. Then it gets a little bit interesting. I mean, this draft's pretty predictable, right? Kyle Pitts to the Falcons, unless the Falcons want to take a quarterback. I don't know. Maybe at some point in the draft they go ahead and get the replacement for Matt Ryan, but it seems like they just need that kind of tight end, that special weapon. Get a good blocking tight end. Get a good route runner. Get a guy that can do it all on the offense. Get Kyle Pitts out of Florida. I think it's a great fit. I think it's going to be huge. Um, Great size, great hands. He can do it all as a receiver, and I think he'd fit very well with the Falcons. Sorry for my cough. um, Number 5, Penei Sewell Bengals need O-line big time. They still need everything. They got their guy in Joe Burrow. I do think he is the quarterback for this franchise and for this team, but you got to give him the weapons. You got to give him the protection, especially the protection at the O-line. You could go one of two ways here. You see, I got the Dolphins taking Jamar Chase, getting a weapon for Tua there at 6. Could the Bengals reunite him? They could, but I feel like they really don't care who Joe Burrow played with. They care who he plays with, has protecting him. Take Penei Sewell out of Oregon, the offensive tackle, the top guy in this class at that position. Go ahead and get him. Is it a steal? No. It's just a good fit. It's a good pick. He's a top 10 guy, pretty much a top 5 guy. Again, this is what you're seeing in almost every mock draft, right? It's just predictable. I'm not copying or nothing. I really think this would be good fits here. Some of these I mix it up a little bit. Maybe I got different varying opinions. But I think ultimately Penei Sewell to the Bengals, protect Joe Burrow, help him out, get him protection, build the O line. That's what this draft for the Bengals is about, is building around Joe Burrow and helping him to succeed in this organization. On the clock at 6, the Dolphins, they were not that bad. I think this was a trade. This was like something with like the Texans or something. I don't know. Number 6, Tua staying with Miami? Yeah, seems like it. I know they're not going after Watson. But yeah, I think that whole thing with Tua or whatever, I think he is the answer at quarterback for the Dolphins. But you know what the Dolphins have lacked for a while? Weapons. Why not go ahead? And you could take any receiver you want, but I mean, we talk about opt outs. Jamar Chase opted out to, just protect himself or whatever. That's what these opt outs did. They didn't play. They opted it, and they didn't quit either. They did opt out before the season, like Jamar Chase did. Opted out and straight up said, you know what, I'm going to train for the draft. I'm going to get ready. And he did that. And I do think he's definitely one of the top receivers in this class. If he's on the board there, get Tua some weapons. Start building the offense. Build it around Tua. That's what the Dolphins draft is about, right? Yeah, this is what it's going to be about, folks. For certain teams, I'm not going to go through every team, but like take my Buccaneers. It's about building for the future after Tom Brady or building for another Super Bowl repeat or something like that. You got teams like the Jaguars and the Jets, where you're trying to rebuild your franchise altogether. You're taking quarterbacks. The Bengals and the Dolphins took quarterbacks last year. It's about those young guys. It's about starting now with their future and starting some not dynasty type stuff, but just building around their quarterbacks, helping them out. That's what it's about for the Bengals and the Dolphins. The Bengals take an offensive lineman, Dolphins take a weapon for Tua. I could see that happening. The Lions, they need a good route runner. Jalen Waddle, he deserves to be a top 10 pick. I know he got hurt against Tennessee last year and he went down, and he was the key receiver last year for Alabama until injury. Prior to injury, he was the key guy. Then he goes down. We know all about Devontae Smith and all that. He's still a heck of a talent, and he's going to be great on the next level. And I do think he could be worthy of a top 10, top 15 pick. The Lions have needed a key route runner. They got Danny Amendola from the Patriots a couple years ago. That's good. But you need more guys than that, don't you? Get Jalen Waddle, man. Would it be a steal? I don't know if I'd call it a steal of the draft or something, but it's definitely a pick worth taking. With Jalen Waddle, I'd do it. If you want to build and get weapons for, I guess now what, Jared Goff? Is that who the Lions got? Didn't they trade? Yeah, Jared Goff. Because remember, they traded Stafford with the Rams. Okay, so you got Goff. You got a quarterback now. Great. Get some weapons. Take Waddle. Jamar Chase is gone. You could, I mean, you could. Devontae Smith, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. The Panthers, they're rumored to take a quarterback. That's interesting, but another top 10 pick that still hasn't gone off the board yet. Micah Parsons, one of the top defensive players, probably the best defensive player in this draft. We see the top 7 are going to be offense. Let's go ahead and get some defense off the board. Give Micah Parsons to the Panthers. Help them build that secondary, build the front. Just build the defense, man. Go ahead and take Micah Parsons. Before anybody else does, man. I would definitely. I think he'd be a great addition. I think it's something that the Panthers could use. Um, you know, uh, with Matt Rule being the head coach going into year 2 upcoming, maybe he wants to focus on the defense in this draft. Go ahead and start with Micah Parsons. That being said, we move on. Trey Lance, finally another quarterback coming off the board. We had the top 3 picks being quarterbacks. A quarterback here, Trey Lance. I'm hearing so many rumors about Trey Lance being a good fit for maybe a team like the Broncos. I've heard a little bit of noise about him possibly going to the Falcons, but then again, yeah, like I was saying about Kyle Pitts, the Falcons love Kyle Pitts, so maybe they take a tight end. They don't take a quarterback. Well, Mac Jones is still on the board. Trey Lance. I've heard some connections about the Broncos loving Trey Lance. That could be very interesting. That could be the franchise guy. What's the deal with Drew Lock? That's another video for another time. These teams that have just recently drafted quarterbacks anyway, and why it never works out, I don't know. But I mean, they just got this Drew Lock guy from Missouri a couple years ago, who I think is promising. I don't know about the Broncos, but obviously it seems like they're going in direction of trying to take a quarterback anyway. We'll just have to wait and see. But I think they could pick up Trey Lance here at number 9. Um, so yeah. Uh, we dem boys on the clock to round out the top 10. I think they need to work on their secondary help, the Cowboys of Dallas. Right? Caleb Farley's a top corner in this class, along with other guys like Pat Surtain, who you see I have going 19 overall to Washington football team. But I think Caleb Farley could be a good pick, interesting pick here at number 10, round out the top 10. He is he a steal? I don't know if he's a steal, but he's definitely a good pickup, and I think he could be something for the Cowboys. Secondary definitely help out, and it's just uh, it's going to be interesting. Mike McCarthy enters year 2. Jerry Jones has a lot of capital. Let's just be real. Um, shoot, they just got to fix their defense, right? Are the Cowboys that team that's gonna? I mean, they either could take the best player literally available to round out the top 10, or take a guy that could help fix your defense. But we'll see. uh, so that's the top 10. Devontae Smith to the Giants. I have heard so many rumors about this. Third wide receiver off the board. Wait, you mean to tell me a Heisman winner is not the number 1 pick for like the what, third or fourth year in a row? Yeah, that's right. The Heisman winner is outside the top 10, but he's got to go somewhere, right? Giants need a route runner, a playmaker. Give Daniel Jones some weapons in this draft. Start big with Devontae Smith. People doubting him because of the size of his hands, or he ain't got enough weight on him or whatever for a receiver in the NFL. Who cares? He's fast. He's got great hands, period. I mean, he lit up college football last year. He was Mr. College Football. My goodness. Devontae Smith's on the board. The Giants could take him, man. Seeing a lot of rumors that the Giants love a guy like Devontae Smith or Waddle, even Chase or whatever. But with Waddle and Jamar Chase off the board, and obviously Kyle Pitts to the Falcons, best available, as far as receiving, go ahead and take Smitty. I'd do it. Okay, the Eagles. This is where it gets interesting. 3 straight NFC East teams, right? NFC East struggled last year. The Eagles, well, they need to build the O line. The Eagles are trying. I think they're sold on Jalen Hurts, at least for right now. If that's the case, you got to work with them. You got to build it for Jalen Hurts, and just work around him. Give him some protection, some weapons, but start with the O line up front. Give him Creed Humphrey from Oklahoma, who was snapping on the ball or whatever a couple years ago. Good offensive lineman. Um, Definitely one of the top in the class. I take him if I'm the Eagles and you want to build the O line. You could go that direction, or you could take Leatherwood, who I think the Vikings could pick up there at 14. Quiddy Pay to the Chargers out of Michigan, get some pass rush for Los Angeles there. Not really, I mean, not much detail to go into all there. I mean, I think we could pretty much look at that and say, yeah, Chargers need pass rush, Eagles need O line, Vikings need some help on the offensive line. Um, so and then it gets interesting. This is where it's at, right? Finally, Mac Jones. I hate to do it to Mac Jones, and again, I'm not being biased or anything with my mock draft. This is what I'm hearing. This is what I'm seeing. The Patriots could trade up, but again, I don't. I'm not one to screw with trades. I thought really hard about them possibly making a trade with the Cowboys. But again, I don't know what picks are going to be given up this year. I don't know what they're giving up. I would not be surprised if they did make a trade with a team like the Giants or the Cowboys or whoever to trade a little closer to the top 10 or get the final spot in the top 10 or something if they needed to trade up for Mac Jones. But I think somehow, some way, they're going to get their guy, Mac Jones, at 15. Finally, he goes off the board. If the 49ers stick to Fields, which is what we're hearing, and they don't take Jones, Mac Jones could end up with a team like the Patriots. I think they could get him there at 15 overall. Um, but we'll see. The Cardinals. Well, let me go into detail a little bit more. I mean, it's Mac Jones. I hate to admit it. Again, I hate to admit it. He is a systematic quarterback. He had the weapons around him last year. They got some good weapons already in New England. This is Bill Belichick we're talking about. Dude, Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, Mac Jones, Alabama to New England. Holy cow. That would be the perfect fit for Mac Jones anyway. Whether the Patriots got to trade up to get him or not, who cares? Right? That's it. All right. I've said my piece on that. This is where it gets interesting. I wanted to give the Cardinals Najee Harris because they do need a running back. Najee's pretty much the top running back in this class, but I mean, he's like a generational type of running back. ETN out of Clemson too. Um, but running backs just outside of like Barkley a couple years ago when the Giants got him, it just it's so rare to see them go in the first round. I wouldn't be surprised if they took maybe Najee Harris. If they get a steal right there, that'd be cool. But what? Okay, running backs are normally a day two thing for a lot of teams. Period. Um, that being said, maybe they stick to a more reasonable position for their first round. I guess I could put it that way. They need some secondary help. J.C. Horn out of South Carolina is a top corner prospect, and I love what I'm hearing. Um, it's he's a great cornerback, great size, good hands. He started out of 30 games, um, 29. He only missed one in his whole career. Um, Last season he played in some games, and then Will Muschamp got fired, and this guy was never seen on the field again. But when he was playing, He defended 6 passes, like knocked them down, got 3 sacks, 2 interceptions, and forced 2 fumbles. Really, when I look at a guy like J.C. Horn, he's just a player. He's a tough player, baller. Um, hold on one second. I just he's a great player. He really is. So I think it'd be a good fit if the Cardinals want to work on their secondary. Do it. Take J.C. Horn. It'd be not a steal, but a great pickup. Um, outside of Surtain or Caleb Farley or whatever, he's definitely one of the top corners in this class. He's just got great speed. He's got great hands, great awareness to stay on any receiver or whatever. He's a great defender. I think it'd be a great fit for the Cardinals. The Raiders. This is interesting. Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Right. Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa, Notre Dame linebacker. Try saying that name 5 times fast. Koromora. I don't know. Um, it's a good pickup. One of the top linebackers in the class, outside of like Micah Parsons or whatever. Um, Definitely a day one prospect. One of the top defensive guys. Um, Raiders need to build up the defensive front, get some pass rush a little bit. I think he'd be a great addition to the team. Um, the Dolphins at 18, they've already had one pick. They got to a weapon. Now get them some protection, right? You took a chance with Chase. Now get them some protection. Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State is a great offensive tackle. He can hold any guy on a defensive line. He can hold them long enough, kill some time in the pocket for the quarterback. He really helped to out a tremendous amount. This would be great for the Dolphins. I'm telling you. I think at 18 they take Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State. And then this is where Patrick Surtain, the third corner actually, because we had Caleb Farley 10 to the Cowboys, J.C. Horn to the Cardinals at 16. We just saw that. Um, Patrick Surtain, lockdown corner, has had some great picks. Hard hitter, has his disadvantages at times, but he's got to go somewhere in this first round out of Alabama. I could see him being a day one guy somewhere. He might fit in with a good scheme, like a good team with a great scheme in the Washington football team. Uh, I think he'd fit in very well there. Washington needs secondary help. I think we kind of saw that in the playoffs when they played in the wild card game against the Buccaneers. I mean, the receivers just torched them. They need a lockdown corner, a safety, something, but start with corner. Take a guy and Patrick Surtain and just build, man, and work with him on the defense. I think it'd be a great fit. The Bears, they got Nick Foles. I don't know what's up with Trubisky, but they need some O line. Elijah Vera Tucker's a key guy out of USC. Keep your eye on him. I think he'd be pretty good. I think he'd do great. Overall, just uh, just a guy to help build the O line. There's really not much else to say. He's very well built. You need a strong guy like him for the offensive line, and I think he could be a long term answer. Uh, just to get a guard, get some block, get some pass protection. Um, for Nick Foles. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I think the Bears pick up an offensive lineman there. Or they could take this guy here who I have going to the Colts. Christian, great first name there. Darrisaw out of Virginia Tech. Um, he he's a very well built offensive lineman. Um, 6'5", 313 pounds. He's freaking huge. Huge. 313 pounds, 6'5". Size matters in the NFL, right? Especially on the offensive line. Just is that way. Carson Wentz comes into the Colts. Is he serious? I mean, no offense to Carson Wentz, right? But if you're going to have Carson Wentz be your quarterback, Colts, you got to build the O line. Got to get some pass protection. Pick up an offensive tackle in the first round. Darsaw could be there on the board. He'd be a key guy to pick up. The Titans need secondary help, right? When I look at the Titans, man, Derrick Henry is a great back. People talk about him so much. Ryan Tannehill, we get all that. We got the offense down. They got the offense down flat, people. They need secondary help. Eric Stokes out of Georgia is a key lockdown corner. Quite a few corners in this first round that I have, like 4 of them, I think, so far. That's normally a day 3 position. A lot of teams like to target anyway. But Eric Stokes could be a first rounder out of Georgia. The Titans could pick him up. It could help the secondary out quite a bit. I think it'd be a great addition. Jalen Phillips. The Jets are one of those teams at this point. They're in rebuild mode all the way around. You already took a quarterback in Zach Wilson. You could go many different ways here, but I don't see any running backs going off the board in the first round, really. In my opinion. So, no running backs. Could you take a wide receiver? I think all the good ones are gone, right? Devontae, Waddle, Jamar Chase. I mean, they're gone. So, I mean, unless you want to take a day 2 guy, I don't know. But maybe you could work on the defense. Jalen Phillips out of Miami would be a good pickup. Get some pass rush for the defense. Work on it. You already got a guy on the line and Quentin Williams. Keep working on the defensive front, New York, and see how it works. The Steelers and Big Ben. That's all it's been about. At 24 here, Rashawn Slater could be a first round tackle. He's still on the board. You could take him there, and definitely help Big Ben out, get some protection. He's got weapons around him, but man, he just has had some moments. And I think they really need to help him out on the defensive line. So overall, guys, I mean, I won't break all of these down. Jaguars, they're just trying to build a franchise for Trevor Lawrence for hitting the offense. They could take a linebacker out of Georgia, Azeez Ojulari, linebacker, edge rusher, whatever. Build the defense. The Browns, they could use a key safety. Trayvon Moehrig out of TCU is a key guy to keep your eye on in this draft. The Ravens, they need receivers big time. Get some weapons for Lamar Jackson. Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota is a key guy who could be early day 2 pick. Late first round, I've heard. I like that. The Saints, could they take a quarterback? Why do I have a feeling they're just going to stick with Jameis Winston? I don't know. But it seems like they are. Get some weapons. Braven Jordan out of Miami. Packers, secondary help. There's a key problem in the playoffs against a team like the Buccaneers. Buccaneers just torched secondaries, but Packers especially, man, they struggled. Get a key corner. Tyson Campbell out of Georgia, great lockdown corner. Can play man on man, 1-on-1 type of plays, type of schemes, and can be a really good addition to any team's defense. I think you would go run a route and block a receiver. He could do so. I think that'd be a good pick there, Tyson Campbell. Defensive tackle for the Bills. They could use some pass rush a little bit. I've heard quite a bit about this Levi Onwuzurike. I don't know. Great defensive tackle out of Washington. could be a day 2 guy, but I've seen some mock drafts where he goes to the Bills a little bit or goes late first round somewhere. Maybe the Bills could build the defensive front just a little bit. I mean, if they want to make a Super Bowl, they gotta keep building. Just slowly build it. Take it one pick, one play, one game at a time. Build the defensive line. That's where one of their main weaknesses is, right? Get some depth, really, is what it is. This would be a great addition. The Chiefs, their offensive line struggled against the Bucks in the Super Bowl. And at 31, they could take a guy. Jalen Mayfield out of Michigan is a key guy to keep your eye on in this draft. Uh, just a well built guy, good blocking ability, and I think he'd fit very well with the Chiefs' offensive line. They already got some key guys there, but you just need some depth. You just need to help protect Mahomes. And man, I don't care who they got. They got hurt against the Buccaneers pass rush in the Super Bowl back in February, and it wasn't a good look. And they need this. They need help. Um, Jalen Mayfield from Michigan will be a key addition. And then the Bucks, do they really have much needs? Not really. I mean, they look like a complete team, but man, I think the Bucks are just building for the future. I made a video about this already, I think. It's just about the post Tom Brady era for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I could see them picking up Gregory Rosso out of Miami, a defensive pass rusher. He could go a little higher than that, maybe in the draft, but at the same time, with all the other picks, as far as like the weapons for offenses and everything, maybe he falls a little bit. And if he's there on the board at 32, I definitely would take him. If we want to, I mean, this is all about depth for the Buccaneers in this year's draft, and definitely want to build pass rush and build Todd Bowles' defense up. Just keep building, keep stacking with players and players, and Gregory Rosso would be a great fit and addition. So, with that being said, guys, that is going to do it. I know this was a long video. I'm premiering it for you guys anyway, but I love each and every one of you. Definitely comment down below, or maybe you've been watching. Let me know what you think will happen Thursday night for the first round of the draft. I'm looking forward to it, man. And do you agree with my mock draft? Do you disagree? Obviously, I mean, you could probably take a guess and say the top 10 looks fine, but the bottom half of it's like, what the heck, right? I don't know. I really don't care. But that's just what I see happening, man. I think for the Bucks, it's all about depth, work on the defense a little bit, some pass rush. Obviously, you got your quarterbacks, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence, obviously number one and all that. It's all locked in. But that's going to do it for my first round mock draft. I appreciate everyone for tuning in today. Obviously, I would love to hear your opinions on it. Will I care about them and will it hurt my feelings? Nothing's going to hurt my feelings. You just let me know what you think about it, and I'll be happy to get back with you guys. I love each and every one of you. Hey, keep your head up. Love y'all. Jesus loves you. Remember that. And definitely let me know what you guys expect to happen this Thursday night as the draft rolls around and gets kicked off. I love you guys. Hope everyone has an awesome week. God bless. And roll tide roll. We'll see you. Ballard's checking out.